Alejandra,
Of course we don't.
could you move the camera so we're centered a little bit? Thank you. All right. All right. I think we're ready to get. Thank you, Andriana. That was awesome. Where'd she go? Okay. Hey Ben, can you guys hear us over there? Yay.
Sounds good.
We cannot hear Ben speaking on his computer in the room.
You can hear it in internet land.
Now we can hear you.
There we go.
Now
Hey.
Yay.
Where are you, Ben?
He's at a coffee shop in Albuquerque.
Is that Earl? Yes, it is.
Oh, I can't one speak.
What neighborhood are we in?
West Village.
We're in the West Village. And we have friends watching. And they're
Hi everyone. Hi.
Right?
It's great to see you all.
Thank you.
Hello, New York.
I mean, I'm like kind of like wearing a suit. I'm sorry, boss.
No, you look great, Ben. You look awesome.
Okay. Thank you. It's wonderful to see you.
You're just playing my role.
This is her house. She hosted us all.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
And then you're all in my house.
They're in the West Village somewhere.
In the West Village.
That's how they pronounce it here. Totally.
I didn't know Quema ever went to New York.
And since you're so stressed, Francisco, if you have a moment, could you turn down the color on the cameras is too high? Because we're looking a little orange over here. Okay. Am I always looking orange? Is that the problem? Use the camera to make me look good. Okay, anyway, let's get started with our homework, everyone. See? All right, cool. So can we put the homework up, please? All right, so first question. So what we normally do is we review the previous class, which this previous class was in Mexico City at the end of July. So it's been quite a while since we've reviewed any of this material. So good luck.
Which is due to my surgeon.
What's too small?
The enthusiasm of my surgeon.
Let's
do another one.
Is that better? That's as big as I can make it. Is that better? Okay, cool. Thank you for letting me know. Okay, so this text, for those of you who haven't been to Mixed Nuts, this text is in debate format. So entirely, for those of you that are attracted to logical syllogisms, the classics house, you're gonna love this. This makes my head hurt, but it's been good for me actually. I didn't think I liked logic until I started learning it, and now the problem is anyone that says anything illogical to me, I can't have a conversation with them. Anyhow, so normally what happens in this text, there's a debater, someone shows up and makes some kind of, gives us an idea, and it's slightly wrong. And then throughout the debate, we learn what was wrong about that idea to get to the correct idea. All right? And the debaters are not stupid. They're very, very smart. They're very cunning. And they bring up questions that normally come up in our minds anyhow. So what we're doing here is we're trying to define what is the speech of the Buddha. And we've been doing this for about half a year now. And so when we say the speech of the Buddha, the argument we're in right now is, let's say we read a sutra, and it goes in, and you listen to it, and you memorize it, and then you hear those words in your head afterwards, and you're not yet a Buddha. I don't know who you are, but I'm not yet. And so if I hear the words of the Buddha in my mind, is that still considered the speech of the Buddha? Okay, so that's Because it's not the direct speech, because the Buddha is not speaking anymore, but it's in my head, and I'm hearing those words. So does that count as the speech of the Buddha? And that's what we're trying to define. And it's a really profound question, actually, especially when it comes to those who are attracted to the diamond house. Because if you hear what you're hearing in your mind, could it potentially be the voice of a Buddha trying to teach you something? Okay, here we go. Question number 1. Our debater is trying to define the speech of the Buddha, and they claim that anything that is considered the speech of the Buddha must be in the mind of someone who has eliminated all the obstacles to Buddhahood. Is that true, and why or why not? And if you're going to answer the question, we have microphones in the room. Please speak into them so everyone at home can hear them. Sugen, can you toss gently or pass gently?
Excuse me, it's Mayor Sugen.
Excuse me, the mayor of Rimrock. It will soon become an incorporated town in Arizona when we vote.
Yeah, it's not a legal town, Sugen. I'll just let you know.
Yeah. So the mayor of Rimrock is going to answer our question.
The answer is no,
No, why?
because I can think of the words of the Buddha, although I'm not free of obstacles yet. Otherwise, there is no such thing as the diamond house if it is not correct.
I don't think our debater goes there, but that's an interesting implication we can take to the debate
Since you
ground.
mentioned diamond house,
Yes.
so I just continue the conversation.
Right.
If he was in Diamond House, we wouldn't know.
So, correct, yes. So someone can hear the words of the Buddha in their mind and not yet have removed all the obstacles to Buddhahood. Yay, good job. Number 2. Is it necessarily the case that the speech of the Buddha is in the mind of someone who has eliminated all their obstacles to Buddhahood? This is the opposite question. Anyone online? Repeat the question slower for the translators. Good job. Is it necessarily the case that the speech of the Buddha is in the mind of someone who has eliminated all their obstacles to Buddhahood?
If the speech of the Buddha is in your mind, are you a Buddha?
No,
No.
because you could be memorizing the speech or thinking of the speech.
But that's still in the mind of a Buddha too.
All
Thanks.
in addition,
Right, so this is the opposite logical way to, you can ask the question differently, and it's useful to ask it in the opposite way for your mind, to think of it this way. Is it necessarily the case that if the speech is in your mind, that you have eliminated the obstacles? For some people, yes, but for some people, no. Right? Like me, I can hear the words in the mind, and I'm not yet a Buddha. Okay, number 3. This is a fun one. We've defined about 4 months ago 3 types of speech of the Buddha. Okay, and then we're using the Heart Sutra, the example in the Heart Sutra. Excuse me? That was really fast. You don't get $100. The question is, there's 3 types of speech, and which one is exemplified primarily, mainly, to get out of the argument, mainly by Shariputra in the Heart Sutra. And can you grab the microphone and answer that again? There should be 2 floating around. One of our microphones has disappeared. We're fixing it. It's broken. Yay. We're upgrading it. I like that.
I think there's 3 kind of type.
3 types.
The first one is once I heard, and this is not recording in the sutra.
Okay.
So I think this is authorized by Buddha. The other one is the main text, which is directly from Buddha.
Correct.
And the last one is leso leso.
Well, it's not. You said it first, but you said it.
The Shariputra is blessing from Buddha.
And what does that mean by blessing by the Buddha?
Oh, because Buddha is not speaking Hasutra. Mainly is a disciple Shariputra asking the question, and the Buddha is meditate to manipulate to student to have this talk.
Manipulate sounds like a really bad word, but I
It's okay.
Blessing. Okay, blessing.
The Buddha's manipulating you, Gibson. And I think the Buddha was manipulating you because we have 3 vocab words that you just gave all 3 of them. So why don't you answer all 3 vocab words for us? Yeah, give him the microphone, yeah.
Sumbaka supposed to be direct speech from Buddha.
That's correct, yep.
And Geshe Michael is follow the authorized by Buddha.
Correct, and what's the primary example?
Once I heard.
Correct, and what's it in Sanskrit for $50?
Whoa, $50.
No help, Stanley.
He just got $16.
No.
You got the first one, Evam. That's
Evam Smart. Mayan Sutta.
$32.
Who wants to say the whole thing and get the rest of the money?
Eva Maya Shrutam.
What was that? Do that again, Ben?
Got it.
Evam. Nice. Okay, let's repeat. Evam Maya Sutra.
Ben Kramer got $16.
I'll split
All of
it.
you, please send me your PayPal. Okay, and Gibson, the very last one. Microphone, please.
Blessing by Buddha.
Right, and what's the Tibetan? How do you say those words?
Jinkila Bega.
Good, very good, excellent, yay.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Okay. Let me open this up here. So this is where we stopped last time. And I think it'd be useful for us to go back through the first debate so we can know what the heck we're talking about. Okay. Okay, all right, cool.
Tim's going to explain. We're in the middle of debate, so he's going to catch us up.
Okay, so I'm not going to read it Tibetan. We're just going to go through it quickly. So kachik, someone comes along, someone smart like Gibson comes along and gives us a very slightly wrong idea. By the way, Gibson is really funny too. I didn't realize how very, very funny person. No, but I mean that in he's humorous. His jokes are incredible. So the Kachi comes and says, look, he says, consider the speech of the Buddha in the 80,000 verses of the Perfection of Wisdom. Okay, which is a very long text, 80,000 verses, all right? And consider that speech in the mind of...
8,000.
Excuse me?
8,000.
8,000?
Yeah, get it.
Just kidding.
Yeah, okay.
8,000. It's still a lot of verses.
Okay.
Whatever. In the mind of the realized being Shariputra. So consider the perfection of wisdom in 8,000 verses in the mind of Shariputra. Okay. That speech of the Buddha that exists in the mind of Shariputra possesses the 60 qualities of the speech of a Buddha, which we talked about briefly last time, that there's 60 qualities that I think you taught in DCI.
Yeah, it's...
64, actually.
64 or 62? 64. Yeah, we taught it in DCI. Yeah.
And so he's basically saying that speech of the Buddha has those qualities, which are in the mind of Shariputra. And the reason he gives is because they are the words of the Buddha. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, and I'm going to say it in a sarcastic way. Okay. So we said, do you have to be a Buddha to have the Buddha speech in your mind? Yes or no? Then we say no. And then we say, well, what's an example? And we'll say, I don't know. Shariputra has the Heart Sutra in his mind. He spoke it. Okay, good. So here's our sarcastic response. That Heart Sutra in Shariputra's mind must have the 60 amazing intonations and other qualities of speech which only an enlightened being can give to their talk. Right? Like it's the manner, it's the intent, it's the style. Are you saying that in Shariputra's mind there's 64 different amazing characteristics of that speech? Yes or no? In his head, in a non-Buddhist head, can there be those 64 qualities? We say no. Then it's not Buddha speech.
This is the Kachik coming back to us to say
it's
that.
not bad. It's not a bad argument. We said, yes, everyone can have Buddha's speech in their mind. And he said, oh, then there must be those 64 qualities in their mind. Potential. Well, then a rock has 60.
Okay, and then the Kachi keeps going on even with a little bit of sarcasm by quoting the Dode Gen, which is, what is that, Gibson? I asked you about this yesterday, that's why I didn't know how to translate it. All right, let's read it first. Could you give that to Dr. Chen? He's working on his doctorate degree. So starting here.
Here, okay. Calte, Dode, Gale, Yenle, Genle, Deshe.
By the way, I want to hear pop, 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 pop.
Deshe Sunni, Ted Yette.
Yeah, good.
Yang Lak Jutu, Semikya. Sesum Beju. Chesum Beju.
Good, okay. So he basically says this has to be true because would you translate the Jewel of the Sutras? Or it's usually translated the ornament of
you can say the Jewel of the Sutras, yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Who wrote the Jewel of the Sutras? Who wrote the Dode Gen?
Master Asanga,
Master Asanga, and inspired by?
Lord Maitreya.
By Lord Maitreya, who is the future Buddha.
I like to say he was taking dictation.
Mm-hmm.
So he's using an example from a book that was not yet written by or dictated by a Buddha. I find that interesting.
Now that's a huge debate.
Okay, well, but let's not go there yet.
We're not going there.
All right, so this is how I translated it. Okay. This is the case because the Jewel of the Sutra states, the conqueror's speech is limitless, inconceivable in the 60 exquisite ways.
Yeah, good. The only thing I would shift is how you started it. How did you start it?
The conqueror's speech?
No, that is the case. It has to be more
sarcastic,
emphatic.
Okay.
That is so the case.
Of course, that's the case.
Okay.
What's the? Remember the debate. The debate is, he said, "Look, you can have the Buddha's speech in your mind and not be a Buddha." Okay, like if you memorize the Heart Sutra, you have the Buddha's speech in your mind, but you're not a Buddha. And then this guy came back and said, well, if you have the Buddha's speech in your mind, then that speech must have the 60 qualities of the Buddhist, the way the Buddha talks. And then we said, makyap, which means what? Look, that doesn't have to be true. I mean, you can have the Buddha's speech in your mind, and it doesn't have all the fine details of an actual enlightened being talking. It's still the Buddha's speech. And he says, well then, I guess Maitreya's wrong. Because Maitreya said the Buddha's speech always has those 64 qualities. Got it? Kyup. So it has to be, the kyup has to be more strong. It always has that. He said what? You can have the Buddha's speech in your mind and it's not have the 64, details of the way a Buddha talks. And then we said, well, I guess Maitreya's wrong. And we said, why do you say that? Well, Maitreya defined the Buddha's speech as any speech which has those 64 qualities. Got it? Okay? All right.
So in the translation here, we would include that line where we say makyab and what it actually says, and then come back with his.
Yeah.
retort.
Now a challenge of all of these debate texts is that not all of the answers are written down. Okay, you're only hearing half the debate sometimes. It's understood. It's not written down. Okay, what do you mean? We've said it's possible to have a Buddha speech in your mind and not be a Buddha. Okay, it's not necessarily the case that you have to be a Buddha. And he said, well, of course it is. And we said, why? And he said, because if it's the Buddha's speech, it has to be spoken like the way the Buddha talks it. And a non-Buddha can't do that. You can memorize the Heart Sutra, but you're not going to say it the way the Buddha said it, Okay, got it? You can't recite the Heart Sutra the way it was spoken by Lord Buddha, who at the same moment was observing the effect of that sutra for the next billion years. You can't talk it. You can't speak it that way. You can memorize it, but you are not giving it the flavor of a person who can see a billion years ahead what the effect of this Heart Sutra is going to be. You see what I mean? There's a difference, right? So can you memorize the Buddha speech? I just explained why you couldn't. Okay. All right. By the way, we go and get the quotation in the original book by Maitreya. And we can do that because of John Brady's work, okay? So we went and got it. By the way, talking about John Brady's work, Nick, it's a good segue.
Perfect. I will pull it up.
Okay, listen. We have input operators around the world working for John Brady's project. They have worked for 37 years in some and we put those data entry centers, which were originally sponsored by Hewlett-Packard Computer. We put them in poor villages around the world. So we find a poor village, we find poor people, and we train them. And there's a cute story of how I met one of these people in New York working in a store. And she told me her life was changed because she learned how to program, in a village. So anyway, we have this, I think it's over 100 poor people typing these books in. Our goal is to finish 300,000 books. We have finished what percent in 37 years? 7%. Okay, so it's going to take 15 more generations. 15 more generations, okay? We already have 2 generations working together, okay? Some of the children of the moms are working. And we feed them work when we get scans, okay? So like we're in Mongolia in the library, we find a rare book, we scan it, we send it to the village, and they type it in and they send it back, and we put it in the database, okay? Sometimes we don't have a book ready for them because we didn't find the next rare book. So we have backup work for them. And for example, the total surviving books from ancient India are 3,700 commentaries and 990 sutras and tantras, okay? 5,000 books, okay? Now the cool thing is those 5,000 books were carved in West China, in the Himalayas. They were carved, and people carved copies, and different monasteries carved different sets, and they're important because they might have different versions. So there's about 6 or 7 famous carvings. And there was a place called Nartang in central Himalayas. And during the Cultural Revolution, that place was destroyed completely. And every brick was destroyed. And obviously the carvings were destroyed. So they've been missing. We found a set. We found a set of the prints. So we told the poor people typing, when you don't have word, type this thing, because it will take you many years to finish. Got it? So when they're not busy with some rare book that we find in Mongolia, they have extra time. They type these 5,000 books, okay? And those frustrating, diligent people in the last 5-6 years finished those pages, okay? They finished 210,000 pages, okay? In their spare time, okay? In their spare time. And they're amazing people. They work so hard, and they're just amazing. And a couple of years ago, we said, we want to start a program to buy each family a house in your poor village. And they said no. And we said, why? And they said, we already built our houses because you hired us 37 years ago. We saved our money. We built houses. We don't need your houses. Somebody refused a house, Then now they just finished the last page of 210,000 pages in their spare time. And we received it, and we're already using it. We're already using it every day. I think we should give them a bonus or something. I want to give them a reward for their hard work. Nick?
Oh, no, yeah, let's give them a tip. I was just agreeing with you.
Anyway, me and Nick sat down and we said we should give these guys a reward. Okay, now listen. We have money. We have a foundation. It's funded by some of our businesses. They have lots of money. They can give a grant. They can give a reward to these people. We can do it. We already have the money. But then you cannot get the karma. So I have the money, and it's in our foundation, and we could give it tomorrow. I'd like to give them $5,000, something like that. Then they can split it up, and it's a lot of money for them. So what I'd like to propose, anyone wants to get there, I call it get your finger in the karma pie. Get your finger in the karmic pie. If you would like to contribute $10, $20, $10,000, we can go over 5,000. I don't see a problem with that. So if you're interested to express our thanks to these people who did this work in their spare time and saved 210,000 pages of ancient text, okay? It's extremely valuable. And all copies of that were destroyed, except for one. And now everybody in the world can have a copy. Okay, cool? All right, so that's called a QR code. All right.
So we'll post the link here afterwards.
Okay, we'll post it. Okay. This QR code means sucks your money from your pocket. But that will go to them, okay? And I really, so our foundation will cover 5,000, okay? We'll give 5,000 anyway, even if nobody gives anything, okay? And whatever you give, we'll give 5,000 on top, okay? All right? Okay. But just give something. Don't be stupid. The karma is unbelievable. It's one of the most important things that ever happened in this world.
I just gave 500.
Yeah. Okay, back to class.
Because I have access to the internet, and you don't.
That's why we give you access.
Yeah. So after class, can we put that back up? Thank you. Okay. That was beautiful. Thank you.
I think it's cool. And they don't know. They don't know we're going to do it. So. There's one more sentence here. We're going to have to...
one more sentence in this. Who has the box? Can you give that to Jack, please? He's right there in front. Serna, yeah.
Sangye Pakpe Gyu Ki Sung La Kung Paying Pechir.
Could you make a mistake next time? Good job. Okay. So now that we come back, and this is what I think it says. I'm not sure if this is true.
That's okay.
The first thing, so Serna here means that the other guy's done talking, right? And Kyunmete is us coming back and saying, but what you say is not even a problem at all.
Good. Yeah.
And then our guy comes back.
Wait, I'll give $100 if someone can state the argument so far. $100. Just tell me the argument so far.
How about Maria in the back? Marina.
I'll
Maria.
try.
Okay, go.
Yeah,
for it.
just relax and,
So the other guy is arguing that we cannot have speech of the Buddha in the mind, and we're saying we
Why?
can. Because he's saying we do not have the qualities of the speech.
Perfect, $100. Then Jack and Rebecca can tell you, being the overseas language independent program masters, what Kyumindu means. Kyumindu. No problem. Say no problem. That's New York talk. In Tibetan, you say Kyumindu. Say Kyumindu. 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 In scripture, you say Kyunmete. Same thing. Kyumindu. Hey, no problem. Why?
And our person says, well, why do you say that? And this is what I think it says, is that because the Buddha intended for his speech to be in the mind of Shariputra.
Nope.
Yeah.
But it's all right. It's a good guess.
But good guesses don't get published.
So the key word here is gomba. Gomba. Okay.
Does it mean what he intended? Or?
Yeah, what they really meant. What it really meant. Okay. That's a famous book name, right? Do de Gongde. What the Buddha really meant. What I really meant. Okay. So it says here, when Maitreya said that something's not the speech of the Buddha if it doesn't have the 64 qualities, he was only talking about Sangye Pakpe Gyuki.
I was only talking about the speech of the Buddha, the speech in the mind of the Buddha.
Good. As it exists in the mind of a Buddha. He was not saying in general. Okay. Maitreya said the Buddha's speech always has the 64 qualities. But what he meant was the Buddha's speech as it exists in the mind of a Buddha always has the 64 qualities. That doesn't mean you can't memorize the Heart Sutra and have the Buddha's speech in your mind and not sound like a Buddha. Got it? Okay? It's still the Buddha's speech. It's what you thought. It's what we all thought. We thought we were memorizing the Buddha's speech. You were. But it's not the same as the Buddha's speech as it exists in the mind of a Buddha. because that has 64 qualities that you will never have until you get to be a Buddha. Because those 64 qualities are imparted by looking ahead a billion years, and you can't do it yet. Okay? All right.
Yeah.
Next debate. Kachik means new debate. Literally, it means
Someone comes along and makes the claim. Oh,
literally kachik.
one mouth.
One mouth. One mouth means new debate starting. Okay? One mouth.
Can you switch to his computer, please?
One big mouth says.
Can you switch to Geshe's computer now?
Got it? Are we on?
No. Oh, yeah. Go back to the other one. Yes.
We should thank the tech table. Yay! They get all the blame and none of the credit. Okay. All right, here we go.
All right. Who would like to read? Let's put this in. Oh, do you want to read? All right. Robert Haggerty Jr. The Fixer.
By the way, I cannot do my work without him helping me day and night, and we should thank him. Someday he's going to figure out the overtime cost.
I did. They moved me to salary.
But we're gonna split it up. Let's just read the first two lines.
Kachig sange ki kayina dulwa nyongmong dulje nyongmong pong chiertu sungpe kyap partel tal.
Which one? Do you think it's sarcastic or not?
I think it's sarcastic, but I don't know.
No. If the kachig's coming along,
so
not sarcastic, because they believe what he's.
Yeah.
He believes or they believe what they're going to say.
Gula ma male.
Nice.
Keep going.
Gulamale.
Gulamale.
I'd stop there.
Let's stop there.
Yeah, thank you. Sangeke kayena?
So, if something is considered the speech of the Buddha,
Yeah, if something is a speech of the Buddha, it must have been sumba,
it must have been spoken
chirdu,
in order to, or
for the purpose of pongwaing the nyomong in the mind of the dulja.
to remove the negative emotions in the mind of students or disciples.
You can be a Tibetan teacher, just read it backwards. And everybody said, wow. Okay, you could, if it's the Buddha's speech, it must have been spoken for the purpose of
eliminating negative emotions in the minds of students.
in the student's mind.
Yeah.
And Tim's going to give you an interesting etymology of student here.
Dulja comes from the word dulwa, which means to tame or
A wild horse.
A wild horse, yeah.
The word for disciple in Tibetan is wild horse to be tamed. Okay? Whipped, beaten, starved, work them all night. Finally, they act right. Okay.
It kind of feels that way.
Okay. Then he quotes Gyu Lama.
He quotes the Maitreya's higher line.
Yeah, and why is that title deceptive?
Because it's not a tantra.
Yeah, the title of the book is Uttara Tantra. Say Uttara.
Uttara
Tantra.
Tantra.
It's one of the 5 great books of the coming Buddha, and it's not a
Tantra.
Tantra. It has nothing, it's not a Tantra, it's an open teaching. But it was called Tantra because it maintains a certain line of thinking, and Tantra means thread. Right? Tantra means line. Okay, so, it's not a Tantra, but it's called Uttara Tantra. Okay, all right.
How about Venerable Kading? Can you read next? The next verse and then the closing part of the verse. Oh, the closer. We'll call it that.
Starting
At
at
Gangshi.
Chirdu.
I know. Gangshi.
Oh, Kangshik Don Den Chu Dang Near Jalpa Kam Sum Kun Ne Nyon Mong Pong Chir Sum Shi Wei Pen Yong Ton Par Zepa Kang De Ni Drang Drong Sung Yin Dok Pa Shen She Su
Sung. She Sung.
Oh, She Sung Pechir Serna.
Good job. Nice, Chad.
Very good. Awesome. So he's going to quote the Gyu Lama. It's a good book to quote because the author is
An Arya. Well, is an almost
future Buddha. It's practically a Buddha. Okay, should be a pretty good book. Okay. Anything which is dun den. That's a famous doctor, right? Geshe Dun Den. Yeah. What's dun den mean? Dun den means meaningful, has meaning.
Oh, meaningful. Okay.
Anything which is supremely meaningful, okay, as opposed to the internet. Okay. Den, Chodan near Delwa, always connected to the Dharma, which is a little weird in a definition of the Dharma. Okay. But there must be a deeper meaning, all right? And it was Sungba at the end of the second line.
Oh, it was spoken
Shirdu
for the benefit of,
in order to Pong
to remove
the nyomongs
the negative emotions
in all kamsum.
in all the three realms.
Yeah, that thing which was spoken to help every being in the universe remove their negative thoughts. Okay, he's defining the Dharma. This is Dharma. Okay, the Buddha Dharma. Okay, who's defining it? He's not so big. He's just the next Buddha. Who's closer than you think? Okay, Shiwei Penyan.
Penyon is benefit, the benefit of
ultimate Shiva.
Highest peace.
Shivaha Shantideva, for example. Peace.
Peace, just peace in general?
Yeah, highest peace. Here it refers to nirvana and Buddhahood. Okay. So if it teaches you the benefits of peace, both personal peace and ultimate peace, Buddhahood, okay, then that's the sum.
That's the teaching.
That's the word capital W. Okay, that's the word of who? Xuanzang. Siddha. Siddha. Of the Siddha. What's Siddha? Like Siddhartha. It means great saint. Okay, Siddha means great saint. You can hear it in an Indian taxi. Siddha. Go straight. Okay. In modern Hindi, it means straight. Okay. In ancient times, it meant a straight person, meaning a high saint. Okay. Siddha. Tangsong. Okay. And Siddha generally means any great saint. There's 60 famous Siddhas of the yoga tradition, for example. But Changsong Chenpo, the great saint, that's a synonym for Buddha. Okay, Mahasiddha. Okay, that's an ancient appellation. That's an ancient title for Lord Buddha. Okay, the great saint. Okay, that's the sum. If it teaches great things, if it has big meaning, if it was stated for the purpose of removing negative emotions in the people of all the universe, if it teaches the benefits of ultimate peace, then that is the sum of Mahasiddha, the great of the Buddha. Okay, Dokpa.
Wrong. Well, the opposite.
Yeah, anything that's not that is not that. Okay, Dokpa Shen, other. Okay, got it? Anything that's not that is not that. Okay? So, what was the original debate, okay, was if it is the Buddha's speech, it must be spoken for the purpose of removing negativities in the wild horse's mind. How many wild horses in this room? Okay, all right? And then we said, why do you say that? And he said, look, it's not me. It's the future Buddha said that. You know, don't try to fight with me. This is the definition of the Dharma from the future Buddha. Is that okay? You think he knows what he's talking about? Okay. He said the definition of Dharma is something that removes the negativities of students, of wild horses. Okay? Wild horses. Okay. But Sena.
That's what he said.
He claims, which means
there's something
don't
wrong.
agree.
We disagree.
Yeah, there's something wrong here. There's something wrong here. Okay? I guess let's go this way. You know, you explore, when you see a debate in a text, you explore the meaning. And in your mind, you start exploring. You say, can I think of any speech? Can I think of a counterexample? What would a counterexample be here? It would be speech of the Buddha which was not spoken for wild horses. I don't know. What if he said, could I have some pizza or something? I don't know. You see, I mean, okay, so you start thinking of counterexamples. In a debate text, he's translating a debate text. Very difficult. You start thinking of counterexamples. Is there anything that the Buddha said that wasn't specifically meant to remove people's negativity? Okay. By the way, if you're a mixed nut and he's quoting Maitreya, you go check the scriptures and make sure Maitreya did say that. And you make sure Maitreya said it that way. And we did. We always do. Okay? That's why it's nice to have an extra copy of 210,000 pages of the ancient Indian books. Okay? We can check a second source of the same books. We can check two sources from 1,000 years ago. Okay? Cool. And we did. And he got it right. Okay? He's quoting it correctly. Here we go.
Are we going to read Gyaltsab Je's commentary?
I don't know. Let's go to debate and come back to Gyaltsab Je.
Okay.
Gyaltsab Je, one of Tsongkhapa's prime disciples, has written a commentary on that verse. And I like that stuff. But that means a 50-year project is going to be a 100-year project. So we're going to skip to the rest of the debate. Okay? And then we'll come back to the other one. Okay? Who's going to read, Mr. Tim? Oh, by the way,
what is that?
In 8 minutes, we will stop and we'll have a 15-minute discussion led by Tim. I will go down, sit down, maybe take a nap, which is what 71-year-olds do. And I'll go shut up. He'll lead a conversation. How can you use today's ancient book in your real life? Okay? How can you use today's ancient book in your real life? Or is it not? Okay? Cool. After that, you go to the World News, Peachtree World News. And we're lucky to have the reporter. He rode down in the car with us from Rimrock. And I told Rob, don't say anything that you don't want to hear repeated online. We got in English it's called muckraker. We got a reporter in the car. You got to sanitize everything you say.
Like sending Juan pictures of Tim on the beach.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is be careful around him, what you say, what pictures you give him. It might end up on the Peachtree Rulers. Okay. Just kidding. He's very responsible. And he will not embarrass you. You will become a star. Okay. Who's going to read?
Ina's going to read. And I don't know how you're going to read the question mark, so good luck. I don't know how you pronounce question marks.
It's correct, by the way.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Kyon me te kap ne ten penyon mon la nyon mon ki ma kiap pechir.
Okay, good. Ken Mindu.
That's not a problem.
No problem. No problem. What's no problem? What they just talk about? Yeah, no problem. It's not necessarily the case that everything the Buddha says is to remove people's negative emotions. Okay? And here comes his counterexample. Here comes his counterexample. Who's going to read that, Tim?
Ina just wrote it. Oh, I see. We just translated all that. Okay. Who would like? How about Venerable Sunam? Where did she go? Oh, there she is.
By the way, Venerable Sunam, I'll give you a clue to get the first two syllables correct. We believe it. It's not sarcastic. So Tibetan is not a tonal language as much as Chinese, but it does have some tonality, and it has meaning. Like, are you crazy? Or, are you crazy? Different, right? Okay.
They're tall.
Yeah. If you get a naughty student, they go, they're tall. They do both. Okay. They're tall?
They're tall.
No.
Drel chen le chang chup sempa nam ki nyen mong pa ni nam par tok pa nyo pao shep wai kap ne ten pe nen mong la nen mong ki ma ki yap pen jir.
Nice. Good job.
Delchin.
The great commentary.
Which commentary it is, I mean, it's kind of frustrating because he says, the big commentary says, like we just said there's 4,600 commentaries. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, here, it's a commentary to the Perfection of Wisdom in 8,000 verses. And in the ancient monastic tradition, it's called the great book or the great commentary. Okay. And it says, Chanju Semba,
Bodhisattvas,
their nyomongs,
their negative emotions,
are namtong. Without the S, it means misperception.
I don't understand. I mean, I understand your words, but
deep. We have to go to the mayor of Rimrock. Ready? Here's your question. What's the first link of the wheel of life?
Okay, there.
Huh? Is it a negative emotion?
No.
Microphone.
Misunderstanding the me and mine.
Is it a nyomong? Is it a klesha?
It should be. It is.
Should be is a different answer.
It is. It is.
Naughty student.
Anyway, okay, in this case, he says the real negative emotion for a bodhisattva is what?
Oh, it's misunderstanding.
Yeah, it's a misunderstanding. It's not a negative emotion. Okay? Negative emotions for bodhisattvas are different from your negative emotions. Okay? Negative emotion for a bodhisattva is just a misunderstanding of emptiness. It's not that they're angry or they're upset or they're jealous or they're having desire or something like that. Okay, got it? Okay. the kleshas, the negative emotions of a bodhisattva are like, I wish I could have one of those. They're very, very high. Okay? They're very, very subtle misunderstandings of emptiness. They are not upset. What's the definition of a klesha? What's the definition of a negative emotion in Buddhism?
As such.
Any thought which upsets the peace of mind of the person who has it. Okay? Is this subtle misunderstanding of a bodhisattva, is it a klesha?
Not on that definition.
Yeah, not on that definition. It's not making them like upset the way getting upset at your kids would make you upset. You see what I mean? They're not upset. It's just a subtle misunderstanding or subtle absence of further understanding, okay? Like they're great, but they're not fantastic, or something like that, okay? I wish I had this misunderstanding. Shebe kapsatene, nyomon la nyomon gi makya, nyomon la nyomon ki makya.
It's not necessarily the case.
Yeah, not all kleshas are kleshas. Not all negative emotions are negative. Not all negative emotions are negative emotions. Okay. And by the way, just for you guys, if the word nyomon has a pa on it, it changes the whole game, the whole thing. Okay. Kleshik and klesha are different. You know. I don't know, like. That statue of a Buddha's head, is it klesha?
No.
Is it a negative emotion?
No.
Is it kleshik? Does it have to do with negative emotions? If you're looking at it, it probably does. Not from inside. Okay, got it? Big difference. Everything negative in the world is nyomon pa. Wrapped up with kleshas, came from kleshas, causes kleshas, triggers kleshas, product of kleshas. But that doesn't make it a klesha, unless it's in the mind of a non-Buddha person. Okay, got it? Okay. Now he's talking about do high bodhisattvas have negative thoughts?
Well, one type.
Yeah, super subtle. Super subtle. They have traces, they have random traces of thinking that things come from, of thinking the pen comes from its own side. They have very subtle traces. Those are nyomon, okay? Those are nyomon, but they're not. Okay, now, I'll tell you where the debate's gonna go, and Tim's gonna translate it as for next class, and I'm gonna go sit down. If the Buddha says to a bodhisattva, you should stop thinking like that, was he trying to remove their mental afflictions? Because you said that's the definition of a Buddhist speech. You said all Buddhist speech is meant to remove the negative emotions in a person's mind, desire, hatred, jealousy. When Buddha speaks to a high-level bodhisattva, the Dharma, was that speech meant to remove negative emotions in that bodhisattva's heart? No, they don't have any. So they don't have nyomon? They have kleshista. Okay, kleshista, but not klesha. Got it?
So they have the nyomon pa, but not the... Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Or in this case, nyomon isn't meant as nyomon. Here it says, nyomon la, nyomon ki ma kya. Just because it's a klesha doesn't mean it's a klesha. Okay? Just because it disturbs their mind doesn't mean it's jealousy, hatred, desire. They have subtle traces of seeing things as self-existent, which mess up their mind, but they're not jealous or hating people or stuff like that, okay? Therefore, our teaching is granted to those people. Yes or no? those high bodhisattvas, does Buddha grant them teachings? Are those teachings targeted at their obvious mental afflictions? Okay.
All right. Is there a step on that side? Okay. All right. All right. So, the point of the next 10 minutes or so is how do we just learned something very subtle, right? And something that I don't have to deal with yet. Subtle traces of seeing things incorrectly. I'm more obvious. Don't laugh, because you know. Okay, how do we make this relevant? Like, or what's something that came to your mind that might be important to share? Or if you just want to share something, I don't know, something random, I don't know. Or maybe ask a question. Let's go with, we got the normal people talking. Is there any non-normals? How about unnormal, extraordinary, Tina Lu?
Thank you for the beautiful teaching. So the thing came to my mind, I want to share is that even to the high-level bodhisattvas, and the Buddha teach them to remove the subtle misunderstanding of emptiness, of seeing things as kind of self-existence. So I feel very lucky that our great teacher already taught us the first day, from the pain. So what I can take into practice, I will focus, everything, every people I see here, and the business I'm doing, everything in my life. I will try to remind myself that I remember, let me back to the pain, remember, what they really come from. I think it's very useful, and I feel deep gratitude for teacher's teaching and for team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tina. So something cool that she said in there, that this is what I heard anyway. Yes, once I heard that maybe the Buddha is speaking through the people that are irritated with us. Or if someone someone gets mad at us, or someone is upset, or your coworkers, etc., your partner, maybe they're trying to remind you of something that, hey, this is coming from you, right? If you have that understanding, what Tina was talking about, that maybe you might look at why you have to see an upset boss or an upset coworker versus yelling back at them and telling them they're an idiot. Something like that. I like that, Tina. Anything else? Let's see. Ina, did you want to say something? Oh, by the way, can you bring it close to your mouth so we can really hear it?
I just had a comment. I was thinking, you said that a good guess does not get published.
A good guess does not get published. Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's not true. So, good guesses do get published a lot of times, and maybe your classes about what is the enlightened person's speech will help people to publish only something really correct.
I like that. Thank you, Ina. I feel better about my wrong translation. The translation, the cool thing about this, it's helped me just try, and if I'm wrong, it's okay, because I learn more when I'm incorrect than when I'm correct, right? And so I think there's something about just putting yourself out there and when you're trying to learn a new language, like I admire a lot of you. Like when I first met Jasmine, she just would say things, and I'm like, I'm so afraid to speak other languages that I might hear it in my head, but I'm so afraid to. And Jasmine was like, no, we need to talk. And so she just, and through that, her English has become excellent, right? She just tried, right? And she tried to communicate. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us, is make the mistake. And the best thing is when you make a mistake in front of everybody, you tend not to do it again. Because of the slight emotional charge of being embarrassed in front of everybody. Thank you, Ina. Does anyone else have something? Chloe.
Hello.
Shri Chloe Ma.
Hi. The one thing that struck me the most today is, what am I speaking in order to do? What's the purpose of my speech?
Mm-hmm.
So before, I loved Thich Nhat Hanh's teaching on only speak when it's more beautiful than silence. And then today I learned the Buddha's speech is to remove negative emotion, even though it's not necessarily the case. But I would like to think that way, instead of idle talking or speak for the sake of speaking. I want to be more intentional on removing someone's suffering, or some sort of more intention in every word I speak.
That's really beautiful, Chloe. Thank you. One of the things at ACI we talk a lot about is, when we're communicating with people, we try to use the Disney approach. No matter how irritating the person is in complaining, you always come back with a positivity, right? Like if you ever go to Disneyland or Disney World, you can be they deal with a lot of challenging guests who are demanding, and usually it's because the kids are upset, and then the parents are getting frustrated, and then they take it out on Mickey Mouse, right? And Mickey Mouse is like, okay, let me help you, right? So I think that's a really good way of approaching situations. Can you leave the situation or the interaction better than when it started? And maybe that is through very sweet speech. I like that, Chloe. Thank you. We have a couple more minutes. Anything else? Rebecca.
I like to think about the wild horse metaphor, because I'm a wild horse.
Really?
And just how lucky we are that our lamas never give up on us, and that their patience and their love proves that they're surely an enlightened being, because otherwise they would just give up on us. So we're so lucky.
I think and I think, if we're thinking about the 5 houses of ACI, once you become a member, and then we're going to talk about how you become a teacher, right? Like there's 10 qualities of a teacher, and one of them is you never give up on your students. And to take that in when you have students and be like, I won't give up on you no matter how difficult you appear to be. And if your students are difficult towards you, why do you have to see that in the first place? Right? But I think that's a really beautiful quality for us to teach at ACI, is how we don't give up on people. We keep trying all different ways. That's why we have 5 houses, for 5 different personality types, right? Which one is you? Which one do you want to teach out of? And who do you want, and the kind of students you want to teach? That's a cool thing to think about this week. Dr. Hasso, are you ready? We are now going to transition. Wow, he's become world famous. Juan Hasso, the Be careful what you say around this guy, what you do. It will appear on the Peachtree World News. So
everyone.
Thank you
no,
very
it's
much.
funny because it's really true. We were driving from, how do you say, from Sedona. And then Geshe was saying that we have to be careful, what he said, like, have to be careful because, and then this thing came up when they say, no, did you hear like some president in the world try to bribe the news people? And I say like, oh, that sounds nice. So far, I only get threatened, not bribed. But anyways, I'm glad to be here and thank you very much. Hope you're enjoying this program. Thank you so much, team, for because what you're doing. Yesterday, I had a beautiful chance to see how meaningful and impactful is for many people. So I really appreciate what you're doing, and it touched my heart. And yeah, thank you. Thank you as well. Thank you as well. Thank you, Geshe. So, well, here today we have a live audience. We are broadcasting live from Diamond Mountain. But all of you, I want to share that there is also a big audience. Are you talking to me, Francisco? Okay. There is a big audience that joins every Saturday and every Monday to join these translation classes. At about 1,000 people. Wow, that's amazing. So these classes happen every week. We're gonna talk about it soon, but just I want to share with you that there is a lot of people, also international audience, watching and connecting with us today. So I just want to give some context for those people who are watching online. What are we doing here? Where are we, and what's coming up very quickly? So if TechTable could help me with the, oh yeah, good. So we are right now at Diamond Mountain, and just 1 week ago, there was a beautiful warming up event retreat, which is the first slide, please. Yeah, some people were here, and I had a small chance to talk with our friend Geshe. She's somewhere here, I'm sure. Oh yeah, and you shared very kindly that it was beautiful, beautiful event, and I was so happy to hear. Maybe, is there anybody here in the audience who stayed for that? Wonderful. Maybe later you can tell us how was your experience. We'll see, but it's very glad to me to hear that this happened as preparation for, next slide please. Yeah. And that's what we're doing here. We are in Diamond Mountain. We're gonna be here from the 11th, that was yesterday, to the 20th. So yeah, if you want to join, just catch a flight and talk to Suna maybe. Or sign online. You can still sign online, I think, right? Can they still sign online? So yeah, this is for the online audience, 1,000 people. If you can, if you want to keep following this program, there is a QR code.
Or tell all of your friends.
Exactly. And then maybe we have 5,000 or something. But wait, why you jump there yet? Almost, but okay, yeah, after Diamond Mountain, one of the things is gonna happen next month. We're gonna get together in Sedona. Those of you already made the trip to Arizona, maybe you can consider the opportunity of staying a little longer and come to these wonderful, wonderful teachings that are gonna happen at the Sedona College. And just to let you know that tomorrow, I mean, if you are here, you are here, don't worry. But next slide, please. Who's doing the slides? Mike? Okay, cool. Earl and Ben Kramer are gonna be giving a talk. It's very early, 5 a.m. in Arizona, so probably, I mean, don't worry about it, but for people online, they're gonna be giving a talk about what's gonna be a little bit of the Hatha Yoga Pradipika chapter 4 that Geshe and Earl and other teachers are gonna be sharing with us.
And all of you here will be meditating during that time.
Yeah, so don't worry about it, but that's why I said the context that we have a lot of people online.
That's true.
Yeah, you know, it's difficult to serve two masters at the same time. Anyways, and then after November, whereas the Hatha Yoga Pradipika in December, there is going to be this wonderful event that also Team Lowenhaupt is producing, and Geshe just mentioned. If you can come, it's going to be amazing because it's the final, the grand finale to the series on the steps on the path. You can sign up if you follow the QR code, and yeah.
We have very limited space left. So it not only, as Geshe said, it's very wise to go. I said it positively. It's very wise for all of you to go. There's very limited space left. It's going to be, and it's also ACI's biggest fundraiser of the year. So by going, you're supporting new projects like the 5 houses.
So bring money. If you, all right.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful hotel. Yeah.
And there is a surprise, that a special famous person,
you can say it,
almost famous as Geshe Michael. Well, her name is Mari Kondo. And she's a very famous celebrity in Netflix in the last few years. And she's going to be giving a talk, a special talk, along with Geshe Michael about...
If you've ever watched her show, it's all about, how to organize your life, like how to organize your stuff. And it's actually very inspiring. I threw out most of my stuff because of her. I didn't need it anymore. I didn't throw it. I donated it to other people. But the talk is called Organize Your Life, Organize Your Mind. So she's going to be talking about how to organize your life, and then mixing with how we organize our mind through the teachings that Geshe Michael gives. So we're going to be bringing those together. It's the very last day of the Kyoto event.
So wonderful. And for those of you who also may be familiar, just quick mention, it's also going to be the Sedona College Alumni Association happening there. If you're interested on that, please talk to Sugeng. It's going to be happening at the same time in the same hotel, so you can get 2 events for the price of 1, I think.
And for those of you that are going who are Sedona College alumni, there's some special classes that will only be available in Kyoto. They won't be streamed. And John Brady is going to be giving those classes as a SCIM teacher, as well as a teacher in other organizations as well. So talk to Sue Gang about that. You don't want to miss this event.
Okay.
But space is always limited.
That's good. So, but good thing Sugeng is here, and also Xingtian is here. You can talk to them, you can become friends, work your way in, I don't know. But let's talk about what we are doing today, right here, right now, which is Xuanzang's Tower. This is the series that Geshe Michael and the Mixed Notes translators are doing these days to translate these wonderful texts, these wonderful teachings. And what's special about this poster? Can anybody tell something's weird here or no?
It's free.
No, I think, that's good, not weird. But
it's been 1 full year since we started this program.
Yes. Wait. So what I wanted to say, if Mike, you can help me with the last one, is that, no, the other one, is that you see, this is the first poster, the opening poster, and it says classes are gonna start in October 2nd, 2023. And this is the very first poster when the series were gonna open, and then now it's October 2024, we are celebrating. Those are the QR codes. If any of you want to keep coming to these classes every Saturday, every Monday, just follow the QR code. It's going to take you to the website, and there you can find all the information, or just talk to one of the wonderful translators Here in the room are a few. So it's Tim, Sugeng, Gibson,
Xiaoping,
Stanley. Yes, they are all main part of this program. Of course, Geshe as well, but let him translate. You can talk to the other translators about that at least. And because of that, we have a quick special talk with it always happens to be with Niklas Shaw and Ben Kramer. And I want you see, there was another picture with Ben Kramer on it, but something happened. Anyways, can you, Text Table, help us to give them a spotlight, please? And we'll be talking a little bit with them. Nick.
How did you guys get that picture of me with the shorts? That was supposed to be.
I don't know, but I think it's amazing. We should all have pictures like that sometime, maybe. So, is Ben also?
He's there.
Yeah. Hi, Ben. How's it going? Where are you?
Where? What neighborhood are we in again? West Village. I'm in the West Village.
Nice to see you. So we are here celebrating in Diamond Mountain. I don't know if is there a chance they can see the audience, or I don't know, but it's very exciting. A lot of people. We are here celebrating with you. Thank you so much.
Nice to see you guys.
So we would like to hear from you a little bit of what has been your experience during this year, in the sense of maybe if you want to share some story of a few challenges or big successes that you have had during this year. How's been the experience of being a translator and also running the program itself? Do you feel younger? Do you feel...
I don't feel younger, but for me, I think I had some personal challenges, but for the most part, it was very exciting and successful. And I think making the shift from the 2-week intense programs that we were doing to the weekly thing was really positive for me and for a lot of the people, because I think that there's something really special about having this time regularly, like weekly, to focus on these ideas instead of just in these concentrated periods, because it would get so exhausting to do the terms. And then I probably would only retain like 15%, if that, of the material. But when we do it in a little bit more of a slower, kind of spaced out way, I mean, spaced out in terms of when the classes happen, it's easier. It's easier to learn, I find. So I had some challenges because I was in Europe when we started, and I had to do the classes from like 12 to 4 a.m. or something. So if you watch the videos from those days, you might see me dozing off. I was really trying. But to answer the last part of your question, and then I'll let Ben say a few words. One of the really cool benefits that I've been finding from being part of this program is, well, I'm a teacher of this stuff too. I've been teaching ACI and things like that for over 10 years, maybe 13 years. And it's just that I feel like so much more fluid with the material. And I don't even know how the information got there. It's just sitting week after week in these courses. I think yesterday morning I had to teach at 6 a.m. I had stayed up pretty much all night because my daughter was sick and she was waking up all night. And so I didn't really sleep. And I had to get up and teach a course for an hour and a half online on the 2 truths, the 2 realities, which is super hard stuff. And so I did it with like no sleep, and I don't know how. Like, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I just kind of like opened my mind and let it come out, and it went really well. And it was like logic and the 2 realities. And we got to a part of my book where it was about how if someone tries to say that logic is useless, then they're using logic to prove that logic doesn't work. So they just use logic to contradict themselves, and they used logic to prove that they can't prove that logic doesn't work. And I was doing that explanation with a Chinese translator, and it was just really fun, and it went really smoothly, and people were getting it, which was, and I feel that's all just because of spending weeks, week after week in these classes, that it's in there somehow.
So thank you so much, Nick, and yeah, I think we will be very excited if you, and also Ben, of course, and other mixed notes translators start giving more teachings and talks, because just hearing you, for example, sharing these wonderful insights that you've been having through this process that are making you, in this case, let's say, a better father, a better dad, I think it's wonderful and are great things. And in this context, I would like to ask Ben, and to finish this interview with that, like, what are you guys planning for the, let's say, next year? What's coming up? What are you cooking in the oven?
Brace yourself for more of the same. It's been beautiful. It's an incredible experience to be able to integrate this more into our lives, and having these big breaks in between. It's kind of a bummer, but we get to see you more often. I will be there. I'll be there next week. Okay. A week from today, I'm going to be in your seat there. So I'll see you soon, Diamond Mountain. And I'm here with these friends. Didn't know that they were throwing me a 1-year party. But they threw it very beautifully. And thank you so much to everyone supporting this program. It's an incredible thing to be a part of this global community. And it's hard, and you come anyway. And I can't believe how many people there are who come each week. And it takes time. Over time, it makes a difference. And you come to a class and you don't know what happened, and you don't understand anything. And I don't know why you come back, but you do. And then 12 classes later, you suddenly find that you understand things. How you got from 1 to, through 3 and 7, it's a miracle. And so grateful that you're all continually a part of this program, supporting this program, showing up with us week after week. More of the same. Keep coming. Awesome.
Thank you so much, and hope to see you soon here.
There's also going to be
bring some presents. Sending best regards over there. Good luck, you both, Earl and Ben. Tomorrow, wake up not too early for you, but very early here. So, anyways, good luck and see you soon. And in these same lines of trying to support Diamond Cutter Classics, we have a very interesting story here with our dear friend Lindsay, who is actually working very, very hard to spread the books and the content that the wonderful translators are creating. So she approached me the other day with a very interesting situation she's going to share here with us. But so tell us, Lindsay, what's happening? What do you have in your hands?
Yeah, thank you, Juan.
Yeah, welcome.
All right, so something we do for Diamond Cutter Classics is we have something called the Goodnight Book Club, which is a way for people to both financially support Diamond Cutter Classics, but also to receive some of the books that they are translating. But today what I actually want to talk about is we had a little accident, Juan.
Okay, what kind of accident? What happened?
We slightly misprinted some of these 2 sutras of the Medicine Buddha books, so we have some extras. The only thing different about them is that the title on the spine is facing to the left instead of to the right. And we want people to, in the book club, build their set and have them all match. But otherwise, this is the same book. And so for those who are at Diamond Mountain in person, we have some of these available for purchase. You can follow this QR code. I'm aware that no one has internet right now.
So this is what happened. Let me see if we got it right. Yeah. So you were, this book was translated by Geshe Michael and some other translators. Mm-hmm. It's the 2 sutras of the Medicine Buddha practice. Mm-hmm. And along, very interestingly, really for everyone who's here, it contains also a wonderful, wonderful, unbelievable essay that explains how Dharanis work, why do they work, why through our speech we can trigger certain seeds to ripen in our lives. It's unbelievable, really. I mean, personally, I think it's one of the most amazing things I have read, and it's here in this book as well. And in this context, Lindsay and I were talking like it's a very interesting mistake, because you see what we're trying to do here is like, in a way, it's like a little bit more of an advanced practice, the Amazing Buddha practice. And I don't know, but the title just happens to be turning to the left. So it's not a big deal, but if you know what I mean, it could be very interesting to have one of these 27 unique versions who have the title Turning to the Left. So,
So could I ask really quickly, if you're a regional director for the book club or a volunteer like Chloe, and can you just really quickly come up? Yeah. So if you have questions about this or about the Goodnight Book Club in general, these are good people to talk to. All right. And then if you are online and you're interested in this book, I'd encourage you to go to Diamond Cutter Press's website, and they have ebook versions available as well.
okay, so the deal is this. If anybody wants a copy of these 27 limited edition accidental books, talk to Lindsay. You're going to be... Okay, talk to them.
Or me. It's good.
Or her.
No.
You want to talk about details now, or just whenever they approach you?
When they approach us.
Okay, so approach her. Don't be afraid. And what else? You want to talk about the other way to get the book, which is on the screen?
Yes. So if you'd like to sign up to receive more books and to receive them over time, you can sign up for the Goodnight Book Club, and we will send you books if you are in a country where that is allowed. More information on the screen, and then also feel free to talk to me or the people that you saw who were just up here.
Wonderful. I think that's it. Do you want to add anything else? Does anybody has questions? This will be like a great book to have. Really, it's wonderful. I haven't read, well, probably I have read the sutras too, but the essay, unbelievable, and the sutras too. I had the chance to do a short, not too short, middle-length retreat on Medicine Buddha. It was very wonderful. The sutras are here, good practices, really recommended. And these are limited editions. You'll be supporting Diamond Cutter Classics, the translators, the project. So that's it. Thank you so much, and see you next Monday. Thank you.